Live from WTOC, the Southeast news leader. The News Now starts on WTOC Plus.
Frightening moments on a Delta plane today as a flight headed to Atlanta from Houston had to turn back because of an unruly passenger. Welcome to The News on WTOC Plus. I'm digital anchor Jude Binkley. This happened on board Delta Flight 2557 today. The flight took off from Houston's airport en route to Atlanta with 85 people on board and 5 crew members. 30 minutes in, the pilot radioed air traffic control saying there was an emergency on board and that a passenger tried to access the cockpit. Passengers that our sister station talked with say several people managed to stop the man. They held him down, but not before he allegedly assaulted several passengers, including Josh Lenesis, traveling back home to Georgia.
30 minutes into it, I'm just sitting there, and a guy walks aggressively by me and aggressively back, and he bumps into my shoulder and starts completely wailing on my head. He punched me 3 times and then walked back and then started attacking another gentleman behind me.
He hit a lot of people, and I did not want him to keep attacking people, so I was just worried. And then the girls were crying. I think he stumbled on a couple girls or hit a couple girls, and they were crying.
Houston police surrounded the aircraft when it landed. Passengers were ultimately able to board another flight, arriving in Atlanta about 90 minutes late. Delta did put out a statement apologizing. Well, back here on the coast, a crash involving a Liberty County school bus shut down a major roadway for hours this morning. 13 students and 2 adults were on the bus when they were rear-ended, according to law enforcement. Fortunately, no students were hurt, and the 2 adults on the bus were also safe. Waltowerville police say it was stopped on Talmadge Road when a Dodge Ram hit a Chevy Silverado behind it, setting off a chain reaction involving a Chevy Impala as well. The Liberty County school system says students were either transported safely to school or picked up by parents. Police say the drivers of the 3 other vehicles were injured. The Silverado driver was life-flighted out of the scene with major injuries. The 2 other drivers were taken away by ambulance. Well, a trial is underway for a man accused of killing 2 people in Hardeeville. Charles Saunders is accused of shooting and killing Bernard Lyles and Alicia Dykes at an apartment complex 2 years ago. The jury is hearing from first responders and investigators today about what they found when they first arrived and the evidence collected at the scene. Police say the shooting started after a fight outside an apartment that later led to multiple gunshots being fired outside and inside of the home. This trial is expected to continue for several days, and our Aaron Dixon is in the courtroom right now. He'll have the latest coming up during the news at 5 and 6 right here on WTOC and WTOC Plus. In continuing coverage, the man accused of killing a Hess K-8 teacher made his first court appearance yesterday. WTOC was the only station inside the newsroom. Cameras were not allowed, and Oscar Vasquez Lopez, appeared virtually from the Chatham County Jail. He's being charged with vehicular homicide and reckless driving, and he will stay in jail after not being granted a bond. He appeared in a green jumpsuit with a public defender representing him. Jail staff said he was being held for detox due to his behavior. Prosecutors argue a Chatham County police officer and witnesses saw him run a red light before crashing into the Hess K-8 teacher, Dr. Linda Davis. They say he was being pursued by unmarked ICE vehicles with flashing lights on at the time. His public defender pushed back, suggesting the pursuit may have been unlawful, so he should be granted bond. The bond issue is expected to be revisited during a further preliminary hearing. And as the legal process moves forward, the community continues to respond. Protesters gathered in Forsyth Park last night following the death of Dr. Linda Davis. The Party for Socialism and Liberation held the event as activists spoke against federal immigration enforcement in Savannah. Several speakers questioned statements made by DHS officials following the tragedy. They were also opposed to Congressman Buddy Carter's statement saying they felt local concerns were not being addressed. At the same time, many shared memories of Dr. Davis and the lasting influence she had on her students and colleagues. Organizers say they intend to keep the conversation going, though no future protests have been scheduled. Well, happening right now, the testimony continues for day 3 of the trial of Colin Gray. He's accused of giving his son Colt Gray the AR-style rifle that was allegedly used in the deadly Appalachia school shooting in September of 2024. This morning's testimony mostly focused on how school officials responded after becoming suspicious of Colt Gray, detailing what happened leading up to the shooting when Colt was arrested by school resource officers. Dee Martin, an assistant principal at Appalachia High School at the time, took the stand. She recalled receiving an email from Colt's teacher at 8:46 the day of the shooting about a student asking about active shooter drills, saying in part, quote, "I thought that was an odd question. The student is Colt Gray. He's in the 9th grade." Martin later met with the teacher who said she was nervous and that Colt's book bag looked kind of heavy, like something was in it. Martin says she contacted the school resource officers. She mentioned not knowing what Colt looked like since he was a new student and initially pulling the wrong student who had a similar name. She says after speaking with a counselor about Colt, she learned just how serious the situation was.
She said a lot of things, but all I really understood was that he had access to weapons. Okay. So at that point, I went to Miss Boyd's office, still in the counseling suite, shut the door, called my principal, and said, I think we've got a situation.
Now, the defense is claiming the school resource officers dropped the ball, pointing out that the assistant principal didn't ask Colt's teacher what he looked like. They also say that the SRO didn't have a description, which could have helped find him sooner. We'll continue to follow this trial as it continues this week. Well, an 18-year-old from Georgia faces multiple charges after investigators say he ran toward the U.S. Capitol with a loaded shotgun. Joe Gorcho with our sister station has the details.
Police tape guards the Capitol following a brief pursuit to arrest Carter Camacho from Smyrna.
This individual was challenged by United States Capitol police officers and ordered to drop the weapon, which he did comply with.
Shortly after noon on Tuesday, U.S. Capitol Police Chief Michael Sullivan said the 18-year-old allegedly exited a car and ran toward the Capitol with a loaded shotgun. Police quickly surrounded the Smyrna teen, bringing him into custody on the Lower West Terrace of the Capitol building.
He laid down the weapon and then laid down on the ground.
Chief Sullivan revealed that the weapon was not the only thing police say Camacho had on him.
This individual had a tactical vest on. He also had tactical gloves, and when we looked in the vehicle, he had a Kevlar helmet and a gas mask in the vehicle. He had additional rounds on his person.
What Camacho might have been planning remains uncertain, but Chief Sullivan credits officers' quick action for preventing someone from getting hurt. Just last summer, they held an active threat exercise at the precise location where Camacho was stopped. Chief Sullivan said part in a statement, quote, "These now routine exercises are planned monthly and in different areas of the Capitol complex to keep our officers ready for potential threats just like this." Camacho now faces multiple charges, including unlawful activities, carrying a rifle without a license, unregistered firearm, and unregistered ammunition.
Joe Gorcho, Atlanta News First.
Under the Gold Dome, Georgia lawmakers are working to make sure you don't foot the bill for data centers. New legislation just passed in Georgia's State House. House Bill 1063 would require power companies to protect residential and retail electricity customers from costs associated with data centers. The legislation passed the House yesterday and now goes to the state Senate for consideration. It's just one of many bills targeting data centers, including measures that could end tax breaks for the facilities and place a year-long moratorium on the construction of new data centers in the Peach State. In consumer news, Georgia's top prosecutor just launched an investigation into Roblox. That's the online gaming platform used by millions of kids every day. Attorney General Chris Carr says he's looking into whether Roblox is violating state consumer protection laws and endangering children. It comes after repeated reports of child abuse and exploitation on the platform. Earlier this year, Georgia state troopers rescued 2 Florida girls who disappeared after connecting with a stranger on Roblox. Carr says, quote, "Predators are using online platforms like Roblox to go after our children, and we're fighting back." As part of the investigation, Carr's office sent Roblox a civil investigative demand seeking documents on child safety, moderation, and age verification. Well, Mark Zuckerberg takes the stand today in a landmark civil case about kids and social media. The CEO of Meta denies allegations that Instagram is designed to be addictive and that kids are not protected on the social media. CBS's Jolene Kent reports from Los Angeles.
Today in Los Angeles, Facebook co-founder and Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg is taking a stand before a jury to defend his company. The plaintiff, a woman with the initials KGM, alleges that Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube were intentionally designed to be addictive, with infinite scrolling, autoplay, and recommendation algorithms.
She died because they kept feeding her the content nonstop.
Lori Schott's 18-year-old daughter, Annalie, died by suicide. Schott is suing Meta and 3 other companies in a separate lawsuit over what she says her daughter was exposed to.
Her algorithms were changed, and it would start sending her content that said, "Here's a gun and 2 bullets. Why don't you take your life? All your pain will be gone."
Zuckerberg's testimony is likely to focus on how his platforms protect users. The defense has argued that mental health issues, not the platform's designs, have influenced plaintiffs. Melody Dinshar is a tech lawyer at UCLA.
There have been comparisons that this trial is the new big tobacco trial. What do you think?
Yes, I think that's a very apt comparison. A trial like this one will hopefully uncover the disconnect between what companies say publicly to drive up business and engagement and what is actually going on behind the scenes.
In a statement to CBS News, Meta says it strongly disagrees with the allegations, citing their commitment to supporting young people with built-in protections. YouTube's parent company Google says the allegations in these complaints are simply not true. But for some parents, any verdict will be too little, too late.
We all need to take a stand against this because these algorithms can change so quickly and take children down places that they can never crawl out of.
The plaintiff here in the LA case also sued Snapchat and TikTok. Those companies settled outside of court before the trial began. And so many parents and teenagers are telling us they're just looking for change on these platforms. They hope this lawsuit and the verdict can bring that. And many of them also in favor of a possible social media ban for teenagers. Jolene Kent, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Well, the entire nation is reacting to the loss of civil rights icon, Reverend Jesse Jackson. In Georgia, the cradle of the civil rights movement, Jackson's influence runs deep. Many state lawmakers that we're hearing from say they would not be in their positions without Jackson. He's known for his work with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and he also founded the Rainbow Push Coalition, an organization that empowered marginalized communities. He ran for president twice in 1984 and again 4 years later in 1988. Reverend Markle Hutchins calls him a mentor.
I will continue to do what he taught me to do. I will continue to be light in dark places and heat in cold places, as he used to say. I will continue to stand up for those who cannot stand up for themselves and give voice to the hopeless. I will continue to keep hope alive because that's what he would want me to do.
In a statement, the King Center called Reverend Jackson a towering figure in the struggle for racial and economic justice. Jackson was 84 years old. Well, if you're looking for something to do this week on Tybee Island, it's time to flock to the beach with some feathered friends. The second annual Tybee Shorebird Festival will run through Saturday. The free event, hosted by the Conservation Sciences Center and the Tybee Island Marine Science Center, celebrates the spring migration of shorebirds that stop along the Georgia coast to rest and refuel. Experts say protecting the birds helps safeguard coastal biodiversity and boosts ecotourism here. People will join guided beach walks, get science training. There'll be online trivia and the family-friendly festival on Saturday with live music. And finally, here on WTOC Plus in Atlanta, one black-owned toy store is turning representation into a mission. The Brown Toy Box creates toys designed to celebrate diversity and help children see themselves in what they play with. Leonarda Head has more after visiting the toy store.
It was really important for me when I started Brown Toy Box, just for black children, black and brown children, to see themselves represented in play.
The store is filled with educational toys that represent diversity. Terry Bradley, the owner of Brown Toy Box, says that representation is the heart and soul of the store.
We want to be able to plant seeds, right? We want kids to be able to kind of pattern that, to say, oh, I see something that looks like me. I can go be a marine biologist. I can go be a chemist.
For Joy Harris, shopping here for her young daughter is more than just buying toys. It's nurturing her identity and pride.
For her to just be excited and walk around and see toys and things that reflect her and that she can continue to grow and learn was just exciting to me.
Science experiments.
What does your daughter gain from shopping here?
She gains a continued love of her skin, of her culture, and an appreciation for being able to learn in an environment that supports her, that looks like her. She can find her identity.
Whoa! What is this?
Bradley says that these educational kits that depict black and brown children in roles such as coders, app developers, and marine biologists are headed to Chicago to be featured in the new Obama Presidential Center.
So all of our characters, they represent different STEAM themes, and they represent the black diaspora. One evening I was taking a little bit of a nap, and I woke up and I had a purchase order and it said Obama Presidential Center. I was like, wait, what? So I was just over the moon excited.
Each kit includes a book, a hands-on project, and a toy that brings learning to life.
When they say, hey, I want to be a marine biologist or an architect or whatever, they can read about black people who did it before them.
The Obama Foundation ordered 96 of these kits, according to a spokesperson.
They ordered STEAM kits. So that's probably what we're known best for, is our Brown Toy Box STEAM kits, which science, technology, engineering, arts, and math.
Set on 19 acres in Chicago, the Obama Presidential Center will be more than just a museum. It will be a space filled with art, gardens, gathering spots, and a gift shop that highlights black-owned brands, including those from Bradley's store.
We're really super excited that people from around the world will be walking through there, and they'll be able to see our kits.
From Atlanta to Chicago, these toys journey far beyond the bounds. They carry hope, showing that representation matters and every child deserves to see themselves in stories that shape the world.
And with that, we are going to wrap things up here for the news on WTOC Plus. We appreciate you spending part of your day with us this afternoon. If this is your first time watching, wanted to remind you that we do these updates at the top of the hour every hour throughout the day here on WTOC from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. You can tune into the WTOC Plus stream and either get a digital show or our regular broadcasts right here on your smart TV or on your cell phone app. And coming up in 10 minutes, we'll have the First Alert Weather Show with Dave Turley. He'll be breaking down some potential rain chances later this week. So he'll have an extended look at your forecast coming up at the bottom of the hour at 1:30. In the meantime, you can always head on over to our website for the latest updates. Thanks for watching, and here's Local News Live.